What's up, guys? It's your boy B Manny, and today on more Labyrinth of Legends coverage, I wanted to bring you Blue Team Cyclops. I've got him down, not quite halfway yet, about 2/3 maybe, but want to just show you some of the gameplay, what you can expect with him. So after he gets to 1 bar of power, he's going to go unblockable, which means you cannot parry, you cannot block, you can't do anything until he either A, hits you, or B, he reaches a 2nd bar of power. So there you can see, totally messed up. Boom, dead. He hits like a truck, so that doesn't help. Of course, I've only got a 4-star Star-Lord, but he does do amazing damage with high combos, so I wanted, I threw him at him a few times for sure. I think Gwenpool ended up being my best option, even though with class disadvantage, because she had the bleeds, and if he did hit her with this special, she wouldn't die. And so, just like map 5 mini bosses from last season, you're kind of doing 4 hits and getting out. I don't want to push him over with my 5th hit because it leaves me too close, and if you got to immediately dash back or something, more than likely he's going to let it off and just blast you. So you're going to get very, very good at evading Cyclops Special 1 with this fight. And it looks like, yeah, I must have been doing this fight, recorded this fight before I switched over to the Suicide Mastery, so I didn't mind using my SP2. After I did switch to Suicides, I just used the SP3 to avoid any evasion too. So I let off the L1 there just to give myself distance. Yeah, you don't really have to worry about running out parries on this fight, but you better be able to intercept, at least to a certain extent. You gotta have some sort of bag of tricks in your, tricks in your bag there to be able to get him over those special bars, or at least bait specials or do something, because otherwise he's just gonna wreck you. And shock damage, that is the best you can ask for Star-Lord, I think. Just anything that ticks away additional life. But yeah, with Cyclops, and honestly, I don't think I recorded any of Ultron, but with him too, he evades so much, because obviously the mark of the Labyrinth, anybody can evade, but he naturally evades too. So with him, it's 4 hits and out, like regardless, whether or not you're pushing him over a bar or just coming to fight. And see, I messed up there. I tried to block or parry him, and it's like, oh yeah, can't parry him when he's unblockable. But he evaded so much, it's just 4 hits and out, and then you can get a parry, 4 hits and out, parry, 4 hits and out, intercept, 4 hits and out. And just tried to never end on that 5th, just in case they wanted to evade on it and then, punish you for it. And of course, there's always the fun and interactive evade directly into SP1. That's not fun. That was just a bad run. And you'll have these, man. They just he's just a tough fight, because your natural instincts to parry immediately or to block something incoming, you just can't even let him touch you. If you're not familiar with how to bait Cyclops Special 1, you probably shouldn't be here at this point anyway. But it's just once he dashes back, you dash back too. So you'll see it many a times here. Dash back, and then I kind of held my ground, hoping he'd throw it that time. Obviously I was wrong, then he just came and kicked me in the face. But when he dashes back and you dash back, sometimes if you dash back like a 2nd time he wants to throw it, and then you just immediately pretty much evade again, and you'll miss all his beams. And he'll throw it 90% of the time, so. here I'm trying to get him to follow me out of the corner. Like I said, it's just so risky. Now I want to push him as far as I can, hit him with that SP3, so that way hopefully if you get into a rhythm with Cyclops, it's really nice, you know, once you got him over close to 2 bars of power, you bait that first one, boom, you can go in for 4, back out, get a second one. See, he's just under now, and I was so pumped, and then I let him kick me right in the face. So mistakes, man, they're made time and again. This was one of the harder bosses for me. Agent Venom was super rough. Jugs was super rough. Ultron, my first 10 attempts, probably really, really rough. Doctor Strange is really hard. There's so many different champions. Venom Pool, super hard. So I'm trying to think here, you know, I'm like, man, okay, Gwenpool, great. Let me try Star-Lord, because I know what kind of damage he can do if I can get him ramped up. The problem was just always getting him ramped up. And the evade on my special. But at least he didn't come at me or something. So he dashed back, I dashed back. He goes ahead and throws it. I got a nice little rhythm. Now I need to be in that rhythm with about an 120 hit combo and really laying it on him. But a 4-star Star-Lord is still going to serve a lot of people well. I brought him along with my Gwenpool, and of course he does have the short timer, but he's still a damage dealing machine. Unless you miss on your evade like that. There we go, you push into an SP2. Just need to be good at evading the SP2 as well. Here's part of the method I employed. Like I said, a lot of Labyrinth was to just hit them while they're blocking to get them to that next threshold. I know I got no more blocks left, so might as well just go crazy at this point. Went for it. Just a little bit slow. 99 hits is decent, but the problem with that was that 50 was the combo. So I felt pretty good about that. I wanted to get him another shot. There's no use in healing up, because if I get hit by any of this stuff, he's dead. I actually didn't want to push him over the SP2 there, because then it kind of resets his whole power bar, and as long as I can get some nice evades in, I'm going to be able to get a few more rounds of combos before I got to start fooling around with trying to intercept and everything again. I did have some bad RNG on a few of my attempts. I'm not sure if they're recorded here in this video or not, there's a missed time there, where of course his L2 power drains him, and he's still unblockable. Not a fun feeling. So if I'm behind 15 more, I probably revived about 15 times already to get him down 2 million. So yeah, barely doing 100 to 125,000 damage per attempt. I'd like to have gotten more, but you just have to play so perfectly. And I really tried to knock these out. Maybe I could have taken my time a little bit more, or taken longer breaks between fights or something, but I got to a certain point where it's like, you know what, I'm just plowing through Labyrinth now. No use in putting this off any longer. But see there, I kind of employed that block technique again to get him to throw a heavy. I think you can do that across just about every champ in Labyrinth. Tricky thing about doing it against Cyclops is that he's unblockable. So if you don't get out of there really quickly, he's gonna make you pay for it. The only thing I find about that 4-hit back out technique that makes it semi-viable is when they are up against the wall. Because a lot of times they'll want to dash back. If they dash back and you're coming at them, more than likely you're done for. But if they're against the wall and they got nowhere else to go, that's, to me, the most ideal time. To go for the 4-hit. Back out and back in, or 4-hit back out and throw a light attack, because if you throw a light attack and they don't come at you, then you just stand still. Whereas if you try to dash back in, Invincible, if you watch some of his techniques, he does a really good job, I think, with that specific technique. It's where I kind of picked it up from, and it's helped me out. I don't utilize that technique a whole lot. I just go for more pure intercepts, but it's one of the safer ways to get him to come out after you and hopefully get in another hit without having to take block damage, or try to parry or anything like that. It really helps with stun immune champs. Thankfully, Gwenpool can't die by a special, and at her SIG level, she can only lose, I think, a max of like 59%. We just call it 60% of her current health per hit. So, while it doesn't leave me much, she is still alive. And like I said, this is before I was running the suicides. And suicides, in general, I don't think are beneficial if you run double suicides, because the bleed, unless you're going to heal up every time, the bleed is going to do unavoidable damage every time. But if you run max willpower and 3 out of 3 on liquid courage, then for the first minute of the fight, actually, with maxed salve and recovery, you'll actually heal But it's not much. It's 3 per tick, so 6 per second over 60 seconds. You're going to heal 360 every fight for the first minute, and then after that, it's a complete wash, total break even. It might be like losing a little bit, but it makes the damage output so much higher. And when you think about doing 30% more damage on a 3.3 million boss, that's over 330,000 damage over the course of that. That's probably 2 revives, so you're saving a ton. And you know, if you got to use your SP3 right now, it's not taking any recoil damage. I don't know if that's something they have planned for the future to fix or what. But even Star-Lord, even if you're just letting off his SP3, you know, but he does so much damage as he ramps up anyway. He's not really a champion that I think is totally worth running suicides with, but Gwenpool for sure, because her SP3 is devastating, and with it not taking any recoil damage, you really can lay it on somebody. I think some of my combos, including bleeds, my 5-hit combos were taking off close to 30,000 damage every combo. So that's, well, of course not Star-Lord, it's a very significant amount. Went in for it, just missed. But that was a really great run. So I hope you learned something, a little bit about Cyclops there. 189 hits, of course you can get them high hits. He's just a very tough fight. So until next time, guys, we will see you on the battlefield. Take care.